What's up, everybody? I want to tell you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting Anchor on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download Anchor, the app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. And I'm a veteran, so let's hear some more military cadences. What is up, family? So we had -5 degrees here right now, and that's not even wind chill. It's freaking cold. I worked last night. Driving home, I can tell you my stomach, as soon as I got on the road, it was in knots, but I did it. I had to it's something about like when you live in a cold state where you get snow and you get ice, you have to go out there and just make sure you still got it. And I still had it, but it was not fun because driving on straight ice is very unpredictable. Yeah, it was not fun. I love the snow actually, which is wild because the bugs die and everything like that. But I just can't with the driving on it. I wish I could just stay home and not have to worry about any of it. So there was the twin babies that this girl was door dashing in a Dayton, Ohio, and she left her twin babies in the car. And one of them was missing. A 24-year-old homeless woman hopped in her car and drove off. Well, she was gone. They captured the lady. She dropped one twin off in 90 miles away at the airport, and then they caught her the next day, finally, with the other baby safe. Thank goodness. No word on why she did what she did, but just happy that that little girl, the little baby, is back home. Also in Walmart in Mississippi, there was this lady. Let me get the story right before I saw this earlier, but then I was tired, and then you know how that goes. Let's see here. Oh, I have to pull it up the other way. But literally, there was a hostage situation, is what happened there. And I don't know why or what happened on that. Just want to get the facts. The facts, people. The facts. Un momento, pinto beans. Okay. So yeah, this was Mississippi. So, Richland, Mississippi. Police in Mississippi shot and killed a woman who was holding another person hostage in a Walmart store as she said she needed help and demanded to speak to a news anchor. The Mississippi Department of Public Safety said in a news release that the shooting happened Wednesday evening in the Jackson suburb of Richland. The person killed was Corlanda McGinnister. She's only 21. She was from Arkansas. The video was posted to social media, showed a woman holding a gun in one hand, using the other hand to hold on to a person wearing a Walmart employee vest. The woman with the gun yelled that she needed help. wanted to talk to a news anchor. Another video on social media showed police telling the armed woman to put her hands up. The woman yelled that she was not trying to hurt anybody. They ended up killing her. The police said it's devastating for all parties involved. Everybody was involved in the situation. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation examining what happened. It's really sad because it's like, what was going on in somebody so young's head that they just decided that, it's just sad. I just don't understand. I really don't. I don't know why she was feeling like she needed the news. Hopefully something goes on. So, a North Carolina lawyer dies trying to disarm a client who opened fire inside of his law firm. So I'm assuming he's a hero as well, right? He was married with 2 children. That's unfortunate. Sam Bankman-Fried's ex-girlfriend, the FTX co-founder, pled guilty to criminal charges. So I guess they finally caught up with her because she was on the run. Public is advised to be on the lookout for cold-stunned animals. Turtles and iguanas are vulnerable to unseemly cold temperatures. So save your local turtle. Homeless people ask court to stop San Francisco tent sweeps. Yes, San Francisco. It's cold outside. We shouldn't even have tents. We're giving billions of dollars away to other countries, and yet we have homeless people. I will continue to rant about this forever. Because the amount of money we continue to give away, there's no reason we should have homeless people. Let's see what else is going on. All eyes are on El Paso. Let's see why. All eyes are on El Paso, the latest epicenter of the migrant surge. It's just after 4 p.m. In downtown area near the bus stop is bustling with migrant families. Usually this part of town, the intersection of Chihuahua Street and Overland Avenue, looks like a busy outdoor market with food and clothes. As the workday ends, the sun begins to set. A white truck pulls up with a trailer hitched to the back that has trash piled up. For a moment, it looks like the driver passenger are planning to pick up the garbage that's piled on the street. Instead, the driver yells at the group, and some come rushing from the trailer, and men and women pull out dozens of large cardboard boxes, the kind that most people would throw away or stick in a recycling bin unless they could serve another use. Es mi cama, one man yells. It's my bed, he's saying, as he runs to meet up with his family. They position a cardboard on the sidewalk with their belongings and make bedding, towels, and blankets they've gathered throughout the day. All the migrants in the area that they had been picked up, processed, and released by Border Patrol agents. Many had plans to sleep in a nearby shelter or a hotel room paid for the city, but not everyone was that lucky. In the recent weeks, the city of El Paso has become the epicenter of the latest surge of migrants arriving at the southern border. Though they may not have known it, thousands arrived ahead of what was suspected to be the end of Title 42, a Trump-era public health safety used more than 2.4 million times since it was first implemented in 2020 to expel asylum seekers. The influx in El Paso has put pressure on immigration authorities tasked with screening people entering the country, as well as local government leaders and humanitarian groups tasked with ensuring public health safety while supporting those in need. Looming over this situation is the ultimate fate of Title 42, criticized by migrants and advocates as a legal restriction on human rights, even as some government officials believe it's a barrier preventing further unauthorized immigration. So, the moral of the story is the border is still bordering. Like I said, we have money to figure this out. It's just who's going to do the work. Who's going to do the work to figure that out? The winter storm has canceled over 2,000 flights. And I'm not judging you, but unless it's an emergency, why are you flying during the holidays? Like, why do you want to have that kind of anxiety in your life? That's my thing. Airports are stressful within themselves. And to travel is just wild. I mean, you guys are really wild. That is putting yourself at risk out there. Like, what is wrong with you? Um, let's see what else we have. Target recalls children's weighted blankets after 2 reported fatalities. So be careful if you bought a weighted blanket for your child. The Senate passed a $1.7 trillion spending bill, including more aid for Ukraine. 1.7 trillion, baby. That is a lot of money. I don't really know what that's going to do for anybody, but we'll see, right? Let's see what else we have here. Police officers found guilty in a fatal pursuit of a man in an electric scooter. D.C. police officers found guilty in a fatal pursuit of a man on an electric scooter. 2 Washington, D.C. officers were found guilty of the death of Karen Hilton Brown during a police pursuit on October 2020. Holton Brown was driving an electric scooter without a helmet on the sidewalk when 2 Metropolitan police officers attempted to stop Holton Brown. Body camera footage released by the MPD following Holton Brown down the alleyway where he is hit by a civilian's car as Hilton Brown turned onto the busy street during the chase. He died at the hospital a few days later. The officer who led the chase, Terrence Sutton, was found guilty of second-degree murder, conspiracy to obstruction in federal court. The officer who drove the second vehicle, Andrew Zabosky, was found guilty of conspiracy to obstruct and all that. Sutton had allegedly turned off his lights and sirens as he stood up behind Hilton during the indictment. Man, I mean, why are y'all chasing a person in an electric scooter? So many other crimes to pursue. That made absolutely no sense. Zookeeper is injured after a bear escapes enclosure. Be careful. That happened in Florida. Let's see what else. I always try to not have heavy news, but sometimes it's really impossible. It really is. Yeah, I'm not interested in Oprah's favorite things either. That is on the list as well. Why would we want to know what Oprah likes? It's a recession. I'm old enough now to know that Oprah, unless she's giving me something, I don't care what her favorite things are. Call me jaded. Call me whatever. A North Carolina Chick-fil-A receives a massive fine over a volunteer program that paid worker with food. Hey, they probably agreed to that, man. Chick-fil-A is not cheap. Let's see here. Beloved songwriter, arranger, producer Thomas, a.k.a. Randolph Bell, a.k.a. Tom Bell, co-architect of The Sound of Philadelphia, and the soundtrack of our lives, has passed away. He was a part of the Delphonics, the Stylistics, the Spinners, Denise, Dionne Warwick, Johnny Mathis. He created music for all those people. Police arrest man in a sextortion case linked by a suicide of a teen boy. The man was arrested in connection with, in February 22, of a sextortion suicide by a 17-year-old boy in San Jose, California. 25-year-old Jonathan Kasi of Reseda has been arrested and charged with extortion attempting to disorderly conduct by Los Angeles police. Ryan Ladd, 17, was allegedly manipulated into sharing an explicit photo of himself with Kasi, who was posing as a teen girl online. As soon as Kasi and an unarmed co-conspirator received the photo from the teen, they threatened to send it to his friends and family unless $5,000 was paid. Police say last sent some money, but it wasn't enough. Kasi demanded the teen send more money, forcing Last to take his own life. The teen had just turned 18 before his death. That is very sad. So sad. Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, pleads guilty to charges that carry up to 110 years of prison after striking a plea deal. So she was a former CEO of Alameda Research, which is a part of that FTX collapse. So they are really coming after these FTX people. In local news, there's this guy in my town that I went to high school with, and he literally he was like the nerdiest dude in school, but he literally like bought this burger place and like turned it into a drug trafficking ring, which is absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. And he was like the nerdiest dude around. I can't even believe it. Who knows that the nerds had some thug life in them. He had a 1.7 million drug trafficking conspiracy to distribute 150 kilograms of meth and everything through his restaurant. And I'm like, dude. Then he's also got charged with rape and assault. The man is going to be where he's going to be for a while. It's just wild because I went to school with him and he was a complete geek and now he's turned into a criminal. Isn't that crazy how that happens? Yeah. Let's get into some story time. You know I got some. Let's see what I got.
Okay, y'all, this is the story time about the worst sneaky link I ever had in the existence to mankind. So here we go. I'm about to just break it down for y'all. Okay, so basically one day this guy texted me on Instagram. We're gonna call him Yellowbone. We're gonna call him Yellowbone. So basically Yellowbone texted me on Instagram. He was cool, we was talking, I found out he was a Pisces like me, cool, whatever. That should have been the first red flag. He ain't shit. But I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I give him my number and like it leads on to iMessage. So we're texting on iMessage, yada yada yada. And then eventually we talk about meeting up. I'm like, who? What the fuck? Sorry. Sorry, y'all. I'm like, cool, whatever, So I agreed to meet him at his house, and I don't really like, I don't know. That was stupid to leave him at his house, but yeah, that was dumb. So he gets me an Uber to his house, right? I'm on my way to his house. I'm literally like, where the hell was I? I was in Canarsie. I literally got off the highway, like, and I'm getting off on Canarsie, like, literally, basically, I'm in Canarsie, right? He gonna text me and say, oh, you have to sneak upstairs because basically, like, he not supposed to be having company. I'm literally, like, 5 minutes away from this nigga's house. Y'all, if I knew this, I wouldn't have never came because I'm not with the sneaking into nobody's house. If you're not allowed to have company at your big age, at your 20-year-old age, then just don't have no company because I'm not fighting or arguing with nobody's mother if I get caught. That's a big no-no. So I'm like, okay. I just say, okay, my dumb ass. I'm like, okay. He lets me inside and the fucking, I run upstairs. And as soon as I enter the room, y'all, room was small as fuck, musty as fuck. Just, I felt like I was in a hot room, no ventilation, bed. The bed was bigger than the whole room. Like, I could not explain it. He rolling up these skimp ass, little ass blunts. I'm like, this is horrible. Like, I don't want to be here. What the fuck? This shit was terrible. Now, time goes by, we done smoking. I'm laying in the bed watching YouTube videos. He's like, why you so far? In my head, I'm thinking, because this is the worst link ever. The fuck you mean? Why the fuck am I so far? Like, it was terrible. So now I'm ready to leave because I'm literally not feeling the vibe. And this is where shit literally hits the fan. This is where shit completely goes left. Like, y'all, part 2. Hold on. Okay, y'all, this is part 2 of the worst sneaky link ever. So basically, like, I told y'all I went in the room. It wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't hitting. So basically, I'm ready to go, right? I'm ready to leave. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, all right, call my Uber, because, he got my Uber to come over there. So I'm telling him, like, call my Uber. He's going to give me some bullshit ass excuse. Bullshit. When I say bullshit, I mean bullshit ass excuse, talking about he basically can't get my Uber because something about he got a college account and he can't send money or do anything after a certain time. I'm like, this guy's lying. Like, this nigga's a liar. So basically, I'm like, all right, like, what the fuck? So he goes downstairs. I'm trying to get my stuff together and get my Uber because I'm about to go. Like, literally, I'm about to fucking go. So he's downstairs and he texts me like, he was like, my mom is awake. So basically, like, when I tell you to go, you gotta go. I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to get my shit together. I'm still trying to get my Uber. He's like, you gotta go now. You gotta go now. He texts me, I gotta go. So I get scared and nervous. I grab my shit and I run downstairs and I run out the door. Mind you, y'all, it's raining. It's raining so hard. It's raining so hard outside. He opens the door and then he tells me like that I can't walk down the steps of his porch. He has there's two houses and the porches connect. So he told me to walk off the porch, like on the other house's porch and basically leave. I was like, hey, Subzilla, what? Like, nah. I couldn't, but I did it, and it was raining. So I literally walked outside in the rain and it was really the worst. Mind you, I'm all the way in Brooklyn trying to get an Uber. I cannot get an Uber. I have on a little ass sweater. It's raining so hard. Like, I was crying. I was crying out of anger because I'm like, yo, bro, you really let me just walk outside in the rain because your old ass gonna have company? You're a bum. So I finally am able to get an Uber, right? He gonna text me, yo, you good? Bitch, you just set me out in the rain with a little sweater on. You asked me, am I good? Bitch, are you good? After he texted me that and I got in an Uber, I literally blocked him on social media. I blocked him on iMessage and I blocked him on Instagram because, bro, you're a bum. Like, what the fuck? Like, that shit is weird. But that's it. If they want my story time, let me know.
Sis, you gotta get the Sneaky Link game right. Sneaky Link, at least, this is for sex, right? You doing a lot for sex. Sex needs to be set up correctly. He should already have a location. There should be fun. This shouldn't be like a Mission Impossible where the dude is living with somebody. That's your first red flag, big homie. Let's get to another one.
Put a finger down if in 2018, this guy slides into your DMs and y'all start chatting for a little bit, but then he stops hitting you up because a few weeks later you find out that he got back with his ex-girlfriend. So then in 2020, when the pandemic happened, he slid back into your DMs, and at that point, he's single. So y'all start talking, y'all start really getting to know each other, and y'all start really genuinely connecting. Y'all are texting throughout the day, you are FaceTiming throughout the night until the sun rises, talking about the future, talking about your childhood, talking about everything. Then he calls you and says, yeah, I don't have butterflies in my stomach for you. So you're shocked, you're taken aback, and you're hurt. So you gotta figure out and you gotta get over him. Then a few years later, he then slides in your DMs again, and you're a little skeptical because your heart was broken by him beforehand, but you gave him another chance. You finally meet up. Mind you, he lives an hour and a half away. You finally meet up with him, and it's like you guys never stop talking. You reconnect, y'all are chatting, things are good. Then you plan a trip to Dallas and have to get your hair done. He FaceTimes you, but then realizes that you're busy. So then he tells you to text him later. You then text him later, and then y'all are, texting, and you jokingly misspelled your name wrong. And then he said, you don't even know how, he said, you don't even know how to spell your own name. And then you jokingly say, leave me alone. He said, all right, delete my number. Then you say, what? He said, what do you mean, what? Delete my ish. And so you're, again, taken aback. You're taken aback. So then you text him, I'm not taking this disrespect from anybody, and you then delete his number. He then messages you that night, you don't respond. He messages you the next day, you don't respond. He messages you on Instagram, you don't respond. Then he replied to your Snapchat story, and then y'all are going back and forth, and he then says, I will fight for us. I will fight for this relationship. I will not stop hitting you up until you block me on Snapchat, Instagram, text message, and the Bible app. Yes, you heard it, the Bible app. So then, guess what? You blocked him on every single social media. Honestly, like, there's way too much more that happened. So if you guys want to know, like, the full story on how it got to that point, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, I can continue. So after I blocked him on everything, including the Bible app, and by the way, I didn't even know that you could block on the Bible app. After I blocked him on everything, it was like 2 a.m. at this point, and I was with my cousins, and we were outside. Like, he was calling me on a blocked number. Mind you, like, it can't be a telemarketer, it can't be spam risk, because it's 2 a.m. So he was calling me on it was an unknown number. I didn't respond to that. Then, next thing you know, it said his name liked your message, liked your Bible verse. Like, when you highlight Bible verses and it's public, it said so-and-so liked, so-and-so liked, so-and-so liked, so-and-so liked. I'm like, wait, I thought I blocked you. And then he said, may God guide and protect you throughout the night. And I'm like, I'm very confused. Like, you're blocked on the Bible app. The next day rolls around and my cousin calls me because they went to high school together. And immediately when she called me, I knew it had to deal with him. She's calling me. She's saying, like, what happened? Let's say his name is Tyler. It's not. She's saying, oh, Tyler's on my phone. Like, he's hitting me up. He's saying that, like, you won't talk to him. Like, what's going on? I explained to her that my side of the situation. I even read her the text messages, which he left out to her. And she's like, oh, nah, sis, like, nah, I don't condone this. Y'all shouldn't be talking. And I'm like, I know. That's why I blocked him. So yeah, he kept trying, he was like in contact with her, kept hitting her up, and I'm like, feel free to block him. She's like, it's all right. Like, I just, it's fine, whatever. So he was hitting up my cousin about the situation. He even slid into my sister's DMs, to tell her that he missed me. He even followed my hair page and messaged me 6 long paragraphs. Yeah, again, I can't make this up. Okay, so since he hit up my sister, and within that point he hit her up, we haven't been speaking for about a week. So he hits up my sister, and I then message him, like, you need to stop, like, contacting my family. Like, you need to leave them alone. So I hit him up, and then he was like, please, like, take me back. I'm sorry. Like, I'm a changed person, this, that, and the third, just begging. He's like, I've been praying more because I've recently been, like, going to church more, reading the word more, and getting into, like, my faith and developing a relationship with God. And while we were talking, like, I didn't really see much of that in him. So now all of a sudden, because we stopped talking, like, he claims, I'm not gonna, because who's to say if that's right or not, but he, claimed he's a better and a changed person. So I said, I don't know, like, I need to sleep on it. Like, I need to pray on it. So literally my devotional the next morning, hold on, I think I took a picture. Yeah, so the devotional was titled Letting It Go. And so I hit him up about that. I told him, look, I just read this devotional this morning after I prayed on, like, what I should do. That I read the following morning. I just think that, like, we can't work. This is not going to work out. And he was just like, Iffy, don't you think it's, like, maybe you should let go of, like, the past about us and, like, about what just happened and this, that, and the third? I'm like, no, like, I think it means to let you go. He was just not getting it through his head. He wasn't. So stupid me, don't come for me in the comments. Again, like, I live and I learn. But anyway, I did invite him over so that we can talk and discuss in regards to, like, where we stand. And, bro, it was not a good conversation. And I don't know how this man had the time to do what he did, but I'm going to show you what I found the following day in my room. So I found this note in my dresser along with various other notes throughout my whole entire bedroom. So I found this one as well. You can pause it and read if you would like. This was in one of my drawers. This was in another dresser. Yeah. This was in my vanity, and when I found it, I was shocked. Because I was like, there are no more. There are definitely no more. I was shocked. Last but not least, this was also in my devotional. Yeah.
Ma'am, I hope you got a stalking restraining order, because him even just finding you on all those social media apps, that's terrible in itself. Let's go to the next one.
Hey everybody, I just kind of wanted to make this video to just let everybody know that what literally just happened while I was working on the job today. So I'm an overnight stalker, meaning that I come in from 10 to 7, 10 at night to 7 in the morning. That's when I leave. I stock groceries and put them on the shelves. I work for, I'm not going to say the name, but you can see where I work for. As I'm going in, I clock in at 10, and my job is basically to unpack boxes and put food on the shelves for you guys to go in. As I'm doing that, I'm in an aisle. As I'm in the aisle, there's one person in the aisle with me. He's an old gentleman, a customer, basically. He had white hair, wore like wireframe glasses. I remember his entire outfit. Had a flannel on, some dark green Crocs, and some khakis. As I'm in the aisle with him, I'm setting things up on the shelves. I'm unpackaging stuff with the boxes. I have my box cutter and stuff like that. And I want to say he's like 3 feet probably away from me. So like literally right there, away from me. And as I'm stocking, he's just looking. He doesn't have a card, doesn't have anything in his hand. He's just standing right next to me, looking at the shelves. So I'm not thinking much about it because I'm in my zone. I'm zoning things, putting things, pushing them to the front and everything to make everything look nice and neat so I can move on to my next aisle. So as I'm doing this, he then strikes up a conversation and saying, "Oh, something smelling loud in here." Me? I don't know what he's talking about. So one thing I do, either if I don't know what you're talking about or I don't hear you, I just laugh it off or say, so I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I'm continuing to get my items off my pallet and putting them on the shelves. So he's still standing there, not moving, like in the same section, just like, just looking all up like that in the sky. So it dawns on me, I'm like, do you need assistance? I have my box, I'm open. I said, do you need assistance with anything, sir? Like, can I help you find anything? He said, no, I'm fine, I got it covered. I said, okay. In my peripheral, I see something, but I'm not sure that's exactly what I see. So as I put the mayonnaise and the peppers on the shelves, I turn around and I see that his whole genitalia is exposed to me. So I'm kind of shocked because I'm like, I'm not seeing what I think I just saw right now. And in fact, I actually did just see what I just saw. And I was so shocked, went to the pallet. I went to the end of the aisle to the pallet because I didn't want to set him off. I didn't know if he had a blade. I didn't know what he was going to do. So I was scared. I'm texting my team lead and I'm telling her, come to the aisle immediately, aisle 11. Some man is over here and he's exposed himself to me. As I'm doing this, she's taking too long to respond. I end up trying to think in the moment. I end up getting my boxes and my plastic to take it to the back room and set the bed. Because I'm like, I need a reason to get up out of this aisle without making a big scene of some sort. So as I'm doing this, I pass one of my other fellow team leads and I tell him the same exact thing that happened. And what happened next was really crazy and outlandish. I couldn't even believe my ears.
She worked for Walmart, unfortunately. And Walmart is really, I really hope that these employees get together and do something about this, because let alone just the shootings, the hostage situations, all the things that these Walmart employees are dealing with, a lot of mentally unstable customers, as well as fellow employees, is wild to me. And sorry that happened to you, ma'am. Yeah, and hopefully that dude needs some straight up help. I'm sure she ain't the first and won't be the last. People like that are so freaking sick. Let's go to another one.
My
neighbor Susan is a goddamn lunatic, and I have been trying not to fucking talk about this shit because she's the president of our HOA, but she's starting to fucking piss me off, okay? So when I first moved into the apartment building, I rent in a building of condos. When I first moved into the apartment building, I had to move my dog in, which anybody who's a dog owner knows that there is a moment of adjustment for dogs being in a new place, and I have to work. I have to physically go into the office, so I had to leave him by himself. So I get a text from our property manager with a screenshot that she done sent to my landlord talking about the new girl's dog barks incessantly all day long. I don't know if she's dog sitting or that's hers, but it needs to stop. So one thing I know about my child is that he's destructive. He's not loud. He's not a barker. So I said, okay, maybe he was just nervous or some shit like that, whatever. But the complaints continue. She keeps texting my landlord, right? So I said, I'm gonna buy a camera. Since my dog is so barky, I'm gonna buy a camera and see what that nigga up to, because he did not all of a sudden develop a new goddamn personality in the week that we've been here. Lo and be goddamn ho, she's a fucking liar. I watched my son, I didn't even work that day. I watched my son on the camera all day long, didn't bark not goddamn once. So I said, cool, maybe, you know how pathological liars need an outlet, maybe she just needed to lie. So then when my aunt died, I went out of town and I asked my friends to watch my dog while I was gone, which that's the best I could do. I barely left any instructions. Feed this nigga and make sure he's alive when I get back. That's all I had. So the day that I get back, I open my door. It's 2 doggy bags on my door and a note that's like, hey, I had to pick up some of Jodeci's poop. Mind you, my dog is not the only big dog in the fucking complex. So me grieving, and I can't really access any emotion but anger. All my emotions are fucking angry. So me grieving, I took her fucking note and her bags back up to her door, because girl, kiss my ass. Don't leave me. Even if you thought you see, white people didn't fight their cousins growing up, and that's why y'all are so fucking bold, because y'all wasn't knucking and bucking in the middle of the street like we was growing up. Don't get your So then when she notices about the fucking bags back, she knocks on my door and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry if you felt offended. Girl, people are dying, Kim. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry. I'll get the shit, whatever. But I usually pick up my son's poop. So now I've trained him to poop in the bushes, in the trees. I make him walk into the forest to do his shits where no person would reasonably be walking around or expecting me to pick some shit up, okay? That's what I do to make sure I don't have to deal with this shit no more. So my best friend came to visit this week and he's taking the dog out. I see Susan pressing him. So I'm like, Susan, what the hell going on? Why are you bothering this man? Why are you bothering him? And my friend is a black man and he's trying to nut up on this white lady because he don't want to go to the damn big house. He don't want to go to the penitentiary. She said, yeah, I was just encouraging him to make sure he picks up Jodeci's poop. I said, were you walking in the woods? Were you walking in the goddamn bushes, Susan? And she's like, no, it was right in the front lawn. Well, it wasn't my son's shit. It wasn't his shit. Did you knock on any white people's door to see if it was one of them Dobermans or one of them Cane Corsos or one of them Weimaraners? Did you ask them? No, leave my son alone. You being racist because he a pit. Fuck you.
Sis is mad at Susan. Susan better watch out. Listen, people have nothing better to do sometimes than watch what you're doing. That's why I don't really talk to my neighbors. My neighbors have a Facebook group. I don't join it because I don't want to hear nothing y'all got to say about nothing. Be bold enough to come talk to me in person. That's my 2 cents. But you should be picking up your dog poop. I do not condone that.
If you were thinking about getting the red nails to test out the red nail theory, do it. So today I stopped by Starbucks and I was holding my drink, leaving Starbucks when this man, he just comes rushing after me. His car service was waiting for him, right in front of me. And of course I was scoping out the scene. Anywho, he just had to get my phone number because, first of all, let me read you this text he sent me. He said, you said you have a day full of meetings. What do you do besides hypnotize? So, moral of the story is the red nails hypnotize, okay? So, proceed at your own risk.
All right, ladies. They say the red nails are the key to a man's heart. So, consideration if you want to hypnotize.
This dude just did the most to end up not getting my number. So while in the midst of him spitting game, he then asked, do I have any kids? I simply respond, no. His facial expression made my facial expression change too. I then ask, why the face? He says he's shocked. I say, why is that? Thinking he's about to say, these days everybody got at least one or something of the sort, y'all. No. He then proceeds to say, ain't no way you look like that. and not one dude has knocked you up. What? Sir! All my facial expressions said everything that was needed to that craziness. So then he's like, oh, my bad, queen, I ain't mean it like that. I was just wondering why you single. I then say, you didn't ask a question pertaining to me being single. You asked if I had any kids. However, you did just answer your own question, because with answers like that, I'll continue to be single. Good day.
Some people don't know how to run game. They just don't. I mean, he just said what came first to his mind. I feel like he was honest. I mean, it's a terrible pickup line, but he was honest.
All right, listen, more twists than a daytime talk show. I cannot believe what I saw this morning. Walking into court for the Tory Lanez trial is like we have another video bomber. Let me just tell you this. You're not a member of the jury, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. You have no interest in this case, and you can be part of the update.
I have no interest in this.
All right, you want to be part of the update?
I do.
Oh, my God, Quan was there. I nearly lost my shit. I ran out of court. I was like, posted, Quan is there. This is the security guard. This is the only sober individual. He came.
Oh, my God. I tell you, we have these family updates every night after we watch your videos.
Quan, the only adult in the room, the only individual who was not piss drunk that night, the driver. We were all expecting his testimony. The prosecution said that we want to put this trial off for 1 week because we've never met Quan.
No.
What do you think about that?
Interesting. Because why was he never interviewed by at least the prosecution?
They couldn't find him.
Okay.
So the prosecution says, hey, we couldn't find him. He's here now. We need a 1 week continuance of this trial. Tory's team goes, wait a second. What do you mean 1 week continuance? How could you possibly need a week? How about a shorter period? They say, no, we need a week. It's been on trial now for 7 days. You see the media attention, the hype around this case. We've already lost 2 jurors. We're down to only 2 alternates. In 1 week, who knows how many jurors will be left? The possibility of the jury being tainted. Ultimately, the decision was made to rest. The defense is rested. Closing arguments are going to happen now. We're going to get this case submitted to the jury for a verdict. A verdict will probably be issued tomorrow or Friday. What's your thoughts?
Trying to get off. It's too much reasonable doubt. I came into this believing, looking at the information I did, he did it. After hearing all this and testimonies, I don't know. Was it Kelsey? Was it not? Was it Tory? Was it not? I don't know.
I don't know.
The case is definitely a bunch of jambalaya. It's missing witnesses. It's so messed up. We'll see what the jury says tomorrow. That's when they're supposed to reach their verdict. Hopefully this doesn't go past Christmas. This is almost 2 years. Let's put this case to bed.
Yo, talking to my homegirl last night, and about this shipment of men that's out here, as she calls us. And I had to, as I was listening, I have to be very honest with the species I am a part of, and as a whole, in this modern day generation, men are more insecure than women, bro. You're talking to a man that's gone through 2 or 3 years of therapy, that's dealt with his mommy issues, his daddy issues, his self-worth issues, his self-esteem issues. You know what I'm saying? The reason I can make that statement is because when you've gone through doing the work with a therapist about the things that you have dealt with to make you feel like you're less than, you can see when other individuals, not just female, but male as well, have that same lack of sufficiency within themselves, and they find other ways to supplement the insufficiencies. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of ways that men, even me in my past did, was you would passively aggressively make the woman feel a certain type of way for something that you're dealing with. And it's not a woman's job to help you with your insecurities. It's your job to lead yourself. And the men of this generation, they want to have the title of kings, but they don't know how to lead because they haven't led themselves. The reason I'm a king, the reason I'm a leader is because I did the work. You have to understand, I come from an absentee father home. The things that I'm teaching, the things that I'm speaking about openly are things that I learned over time. Like, my dad taught me how to provide. He taught me how to go get a job, but he didn't teach me emotional intelligence. I had to go learn it on my own by reading books, by looking for different mentors, things of that nature, by going to get a therapist. And my therapist showed me a lot of these different issues that I had to pull out of me so I could become a better person, not for my ex-wife, but before my children. You know what I'm saying? And we got to really focus on being better, because these insecurities that we have, I'm going to be real with you, as men, women ain't putting up with the same BS they put up with in 2010 and 2015, even 2020. They're realizing that they don't need a man, and they don't need a man's BS. And if you're not going to provide them a certain level of peace, if you're not going to help them maintain the peace and the quality of life they already have, they don't need you, bro. They will be happy by themselves, taking their vacations, having their roses, and doing their girls' trips, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stop with the passive aggressiveness and the trying to control and trying to say what you better not do, what you gonna do. Because you are a man does not necessarily mean that a woman's supposed to naturally submit. When you have a certain type of aura about you, and when you care about that person and you have that person's best interest as a man, she will naturally submit to what it is that you want her to do. But you have to lead in that area first. You have to give in that area first. And a lot of men aren't leading in that area because they don't know how to lead themselves. You got to lead yourself out of stuff. So you cannot be insecure, not feel away, not talk to her a certain type of way, not be passive aggressive, not have her, because we are the leaders. And when we speak, we can speak life or death with the power of our tongue. Proverbs 18:21. So learn to speak life into yourself. Learn to fix your issues. And honestly, if you know you're not all the way whole, don't get out here in this dating pool, bro. Because all you're doing is causing more drama for people that you don't need to be causing. That's it. That's the post.
Hey, I approve this message. And that goes both ways on people being whole before they try to date. And I think that that's the problem, and has always been the problem in society, is that we feel like people should complete us, and it's completely not true. Darn that Tom Cruise movie. That was a lie. But he's spitting game and he's spitting facts. A lot of men don't want to cop to that. I like to get it from the voice of a man that has done the work. His name is Rex Parker. And yeah, I think we all have work to do before we get into relationships. So it's nice to hear someone say and tell the truth, and let's quit playing these passive aggressive games with each other. Let's love each other wholly, because in this world, that's really what we need, guys. Hey, you guys, Merry Christmas. I will be back talking to you after Christmas. You guys have a happy holidays. If you celebrate that, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, happy whatever it is that you're celebrating, even if it's just time off of work. You guys be safe, stay warm, keep those pets inside, and just sending much love to you guys. I'll be with you next week. F is for Family is signing out.